Hello, hello, hello. Dr. Alan Harper here, your Secure Vibe coder. And we are back for another live Secure Vibe coding session. Man, I've been gone for a week. It seems like an eternity. And we're going to go ahead and jump right back into it. Um, we are building this app called User Vibes OS. The purpose of this app is to collect vibes throughout the user journey lifecycle. So the idea is that as users come to your website, they're constantly, giving off vibes. And if you're paying attention and you're listening, you can pick up those vibes. And so that's what we aim to do. We make it easy for developers to collect those vibes from their users. And the thing we've been focusing on here is the feedback module. Now, the feedback module is very important in a developer's lifecycle because the feedback that you get from your users is the most precious thing that you can get. Those ideas that the users give you are the best ideas. They're better than your ideas most often. And so we want to cherish those ideas. We want to collect them. We also want to collect bug reports. So we have all of this working already. And hey, if you've joined me tonight, go ahead and drop me a chat. Tell me that you're here. And I'd appreciate it. Tell me where you're from. All right. So, again, this is the app that we're building. And the idea is that we have a front end for the app. It's a JavaScript module that the developer can install. They can embed into their web page, and that JavaScript front end module or widget, if you will then connect back through our site, our backend dashboard, using an API key that we let the developer set up. And the idea is then we keep track of everything via Convex, and it's a real-time database, and we just love Convex. We've had a really good time with it, and it's just awesome. And we have two forms of authentication that we let our users connect with. We have tier 1 security mode, and that's public key authentication. It's very basic. The developer just uses the public key that we give them and puts that in the authentication header for the requests that come from their users. That's the easiest thing to do. We have a second tier of security that we call it uses Java Web Tokens or JWT tokens, and that uses a secret key that we give them. The user needs to generate a JWT token on their side and send it to us, and we'll validate it. Okay, let me check my chat here. It doesn't seem to be working. Bear with me. Okay, not sure what's going on with that, but I'm going to go ahead and continue. I can't see the chat here tonight. Let me see if I can get my YouTube up and see it that way. Okay. There we go. Okay, I've got that chat up. So once again, if you've joined me tonight, go ahead and drop me a hello and tell me that you're here. I'd appreciate it. Okay. Now, where were we? Oh, there we go. Nope. Oh, it's okay. Let me do a hello world on the chat myself. All right. Again, not sure what's going on with the chat. Let me try one more trick. Okay. All right. I don't want to restart this stream. We'll just go ahead and keep going. It looks like we got 7 people with us here tonight. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the chat. If you join me tonight, go ahead and drop a hello in the chat here and let me know that you're here. I'd appreciate it. Okay. And what we're building is this app called User Vibes OS. And the idea is we're making it easy on developers to collect the feedback from their users. And whether that feedback come from their landing page or maybe a survey that they set up or a wait list or an email list. But ultimately, what we've been working on is a feedback module, if you will. And it allows us to very quickly and easily collect feature requests from our users and also bug reports. Those are very precious, and we need to get those from our users. There's a few competitors out there doing this, but we're already better than they are. Okay, so what we're working on here is an app that does all of this. There's no competitor that pulls all of this together, and so we aim to be the first to do that. Okay. Now here's the long list of features that we've been working on, and we've been plugging along. I guess we're about 35 hours into this project now, and we already have, and that's 35 hours over. It's day 35, I think. But honestly, I took a week off here, a vacation last week, so we've got maybe about 25 sessions into this thing, or maybe 26 sessions, something like that. And we already have probably about 3 to 4 or 5 months worth of work done. And so that's the value of vibe coding. So we use AI to do our coding for us, and we need to know how to do that, and we need to monitor it and make sure that the result is good. But so far, it's been excellent, and it's allowed us to do 10 times what we would otherwise be able to do. Now, the trick is that we're doing it securely. And you can learn about vibe coding in many places, but what we teach here and what we preach is secure vibe coding. Everything that we do, every conversation that we have with the AI, we're informing it to do it securely. And the way we do that is through something that I developed called the Secure Vibe Code OS. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, if you just Google Secure Vibe Coding OS, let's see. Used to come right up. Okay. What you'll find here is on GitHub. Yeah. Okay. If I use my GitHub and I go into Secure Vibe Coding OS. All right. Here's the repo I was trying to pull up for you to show you what we're doing. So we built everything that we do here on the Secure Vibe Coding OS. And this is a repository that I set up a few months ago. And the idea is that this gives you a secure baseline, right? So you start with this baseline, it becomes like your foundation. And everything we do on top of this, then it does it securely. And it's our job just not to mess it up. And this is all part of a class that I've developed called a Secure Vibe Coding Masterclass. You can find out about that in the free mentoring, my free mentoring group, QR code above or link below. And the idea here is I've loaded this thing with Claude skills. And what skills are little capabilities that I've given Claude Code so that it will handle, there's about 30 of these. And what it'll do is it'll handle everything, every request we give it. It'll look at it and look for keywords that are security related, and it will invoke that skill then and help you then implement it securely. So we basically have charged up Claude Code and giving it the security batteries, I like to say. Now, as part of the Secure Vibe Coding OS, you get all of this stuff for free. Let me see here. Go back to the homepage of it. You can find this again on GitHub. Just search for me and look for GitHub. All right, and on GitHub, and just search for Secure Vibe Coding OS, and you'll find this repo. Give me a star, by the way, if you come out here and find it. It's brand new, so it hasn't gotten a lot of love yet. Now, the cool thing about this Secure Vibe Coding OS is it has all of these security batteries included. All of this stuff right here is the security heart of the application. And I added all of this, and so you get all of this out of the box. So in about 15 minutes, you deploy the Secure Vibe Coding OS, and then you build on top of it. And this is your advantage over other Vibe coders, okay? And so what we cover here is how to do that. We're doing it, by example. You also learn more about that inside of the masterclass. And just for you guys showing up tonight, I'll also show you something else. Inside the docs folder here, there's a course, and I put 2 of my modules from my master course right inside of this free Secure Vibe Coding OS. So as you start to use this, you'll know how to use it just by reading these, all right? Okay. All right. Once again, if you're here, drop me a chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're from. My chat is kind of acting up tonight, but we're going to go ahead and proceed anyway. But I think I have another screen up here where I should be able to see anybody that chats with me, and I appreciate that if you did. All right. Now, what are we going to do tonight? We have our app, and this is what our app looks like. Let's go ahead and take a look at the front page of our app. By the way, you can also find this out on securevibesOS.ai. You're free to log into that right now. It's live. We launched that like a week and a half ago. And you can log in. It's free for now. And you can sign up, go in and start playing with it and familiarize yourself with it. You'll find out about some of the features here. We haven't really updated this homepage, so a lot of these images are just placeholders. Just understand that. But a lot of the copy on here, the text is accurate, right? So what we do is we capture the complete user journey intelligence. We talk about feature requests. We talk about all of these features essentially that we have set up in here. And last time we actually set up a nice little list here to show you the features that we have set up. And right now, like I said, everything's for free. So go ahead and go for it. Okay. And this is just placeholder stuff too. You can see the Latin here. Okay. So we'll get that. We'll get some real testimonials once we get some customers in here. All right. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to set up subdomains. So the idea with subdomains is the ability for our users to have their own landing page, should they choose to just point to us and let their users fill out their feature requests or bug reports right here on their portal page, if you will. Think of it like as a customer page. And I'm going to show you how we do that with Next.js tonight. And Lord willing, we'll be able to pull that off here in the next half hour or so. That'll be pretty amazing. All right, so I'm going by this blog right here, and I'll drop this blog into the chat here. And if you just come out to Medium and you just search for subdomains in Next.js 14, how to structure scalable multi-tenant front-end applications, you'll see this. All right, so this guy did a really good job of breaking this down last year and how to do this. And the idea is we're going to make this a multi-tenant software. Now, the advantage of doing this is it allows our users to customize the look and feel of the page even more. So what we can do is we can add, for example, logos. We can ultimately white label this thing. We can even let them put their own domain in. But initially what we're going to do is we're just going to set up a subdomain for each of the projects that are set up by the user on our website. Now, we have a domain called uservibesOS.ai, And the idea is then we're going to let the user put a subdomain off of that. And it's fairly easy to do within Next.js. We use a route API for that, or I guess the API route for that is the proper way to say it. So here's what it would look like. So for example, we have user vibes OS right here, .ai, and we'll let the user go ahead and put their subdomains in here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this page and we're going to feed it to our friend Claude Code, and we're going to tell it this. I want you to fetch this URL and I want you to implement subdomains on our site. The way I want to do it is for each project that the developer sets up, we already capture a project name, which becomes the slug for the project. I want to allow them to set that as the subdomain should they choose, if it's available. If it's not available, then what we'll do is we'll put just a random, 6-digit number on the end of that requested slug. And in this way, the user will be able to land or point their users back to this specific URL. And this URL then will show their feature request and the widget, essentially. And so what I want you to do is set that up again at a project level. I want you to read that blog article and understand it fully. We'll implement it with the JSON file as they describe, and also set up the API routes to make all of that work. So I want you to develop a project plan for this initially. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into plan mode. I'm going to force it to give me a plan. Okay. Now it's asking, do you want to read this page? Yes. Okay, it looks like it had an issue reading that page. That's not good. So we need to stop it, because it'll just go off and hallucinate like it read the page. Try to fetch that page again. See if this is the same page. It is not the same page. Okay, so here we go again. I must have the wrong URL. Hold on a second. I just clicked on that link and it gave me an error too. Hold on a second. I didn't copy it in correctly. Here, we have it up here. Okay. Tell it to use that URL. Looks like Medium is blocking that. Okay, hold on a second. You know what it's doing is, for some reason, it's not taking the whole URL. Let me put it in quotes and just try it one more time. Otherwise, I'm just going to copy paste it in. Yep. Error. I'll be darned. Man, we're having a heck of a night tonight. Yeah, it says right here I can copy paste the whole thing. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. Goodness. All right, finally you can get to work. Man, I sure wish I could see you guys in the chat. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and bounce this just to restart it, and just come on back, guys, to the same URL, or come back to my page. I apologize. I need to be able to see the chat, or otherwise it's not much of a live stream. So I'm going to bounce this and come right back in. Okay. And we'll be right back. Okay. All right, now it looks like my chat might be working. So drop me a hello if you're in here, so I can see that my chat's working. I appreciate it. Okay. And we've got let's see here. Should we store the subdomains in a convex DB? The dynamic, no redeploy needed, or use a JSON file as the article suggests? Oh, interesting. No, let's definitely use a convex DB. I didn't know that article required a redeploy each time a subdomain was added. Well, that's not cool. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put it in the convex DB. Subdomains will be project slug .uservibesos.ai. Okay, yep, that'll work. Full widget at the root. Yep, that's right. Okay, well, this is interesting. It's giving us the option here to put like a landing page and paths and such. No, I think we'll go ahead, at this point, we'll just go ahead and do the full widget at the root. Okay, Yes. Add the settings UI. Should there be a UI in the dashboard for project owners to claim or enable? Yes. Okay. I like how Claude Code does that. If it doesn't, if it's uncertain, it will come back and ask you, and it makes it a better plan. Now, before you've heard me talk about spec-driven design or spec-driven development, and kind of poo-poo it. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but this is kind of like a compromise, right? So like we're getting a little bit of spec-driven planning in as we go, and I think that's good and healthy. I call it the Goldilocks principle, like right, not too hard, not too easy, just right. Okay, so it's off and running right now. And we're knocking some rust off, guys. Been away for 7 days on holiday, on vacation, and now we're getting back into the swing. First of many more of these sessions, and I'm going to try to keep going at it nightly. Soon we're going to get to the position where we can start promoting this. But one of the things I've been thinking about is the ability to set up affiliates so that you guys can help promote this and make some money. So if you're interested in that, drop me a hello here in the chat and tell me about that, or at least tell me that you like that idea. Hey, I see that comment, Kish. I'll just call you Kish. I appreciate you dropped me a comment. You're the first one tonight. I was having a problem with my chat working earlier, and now it's working. Hey, I appreciate it. All right, so here we go. Would you like to proceed? Okay, so let's take a look at the plan. Always a good idea to review the plan before we asked it to plan. So, and I have a lot of faith in Claude Code, so I'm pretty sure it's going to give us a pretty solid plan here. But let's just skim it at least. Okay. It's going to update the database. It's going to put some middleware in. It's going to put that API route. Okay. It's going to handle collisions. Okay. If my project is taken, it automatically assigns that in a random 6-digit suffix. Okay, great. 6 files to create and modify, or 10 files to create and modify total. Yes. Okay, that all looks good. Okay, let's see how this does. I've never done this before, by the way, guys. That's the fun of it. So if it's a total disaster, we just nuke it and back out. That's why we have everything in Git. We'll just try again tomorrow. Hopefully you find this useful. I know many of you out there need to set up subdomains, and it's a very useful skill to be able to set up these subdomains dynamically within Next.js. So instead of messing with like DNS, because typically what we'd have to do is do DNS records and all that, and who wants to mess with any of that? So we'll just, our web server, Next.js, allows us to do this. We're going to just take advantage of its functionality. Okay. All right, who else joined us here? Drop me a hello. You can find out more about me in that QR code up above and also in the link down below. And I am a secure vibe coder. I've been in cybersecurity for about 36 years now. I've been developing for about 46 years, since I was about 10 years old, maybe a little sooner. And I'm 56 now, so go figure. And what I've noticed is there's a huge opportunity now. Anyone can vibe code. That's great. It's also scary that anyone can vibe code because most people don't understand the security implications of this. So what I'm helping people do is secure vibe coding, right? I want to help people do vibe coding, but I want them to do it securely. And so I'm building tools and techniques and training to help people do that. And if you want to find out more about that, again, check out my free mentoring there with the QR code or the link down below. I'm giving away value all the time. Hey, Adelsa, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. All right. So here we go. It's just making a directory here. We'll say yes. So again, if you joined us late, what we're doing is we're giving our app the ability to have subdomains. It's kind of a complicated topic, but we're going to see how Claude Code does, and it's going to do it for us, right? We're not writing any code here on these streams. So we will test it afterwards to make sure that it's working properly. And then we'll also check the security of it. But we let the AI do the coding here, but we do it securely. So again, we're letting our developers add subdomains. Now, let me just explain a little further. So this is our website. It's currently broken on the back end because it's doing all this host name stuff. But let me just take you out and show you the real one. Okay, so if you go to uservibes.os.ai and log in. Okay, it looks like this on the back end, right? And when you're in here, you'll notice that there's a security dashboard where you have all these security events because we're, again, secure vibe coders. But here in the feedback is where a user can set up these projects. Okay, so the idea is a developer then might have multiple websites, and they would then set up a project for each one of them. And here's just like the first one, for example. And over here in the settings, what we're going to let them do is there'll be a setting over here for them to claim that domain, that subdomain. The first thing that we'll do is we'll use this slug here, okay? And if that's already taken by somebody else, then we'll just put a number, a random number after it, okay? And that's what we've asked Claude Code to do. Now, the idea then is we already let the users embed the feature request and the bug reports within their website, and we give them instructions on how to do that. It's really easy, okay? And then what they do is once they embed it, here's what it looks like. Here's a demo. Okay, so then users can come and they could submit their ideas, right? And it works really well. In fact, here's another one. Let's see. Here's my test site. Oh, it's broken too. Everything's broke right now on my local site because Claude Code's working. So what happens is then users, submit their feature request or their bug reports, and then that feedback goes to the developer, and that's why we're in business, right? But what I want to do is I want to give them another option. Instead of embedding it on their website, they might just want to point to us. And if they want to do that, that's the simplest of all situations. Now, that would be an unauthenticated request. So in other words, if they don't care who's putting feature requests in on their site, sure, we'll give them a landing page for that. And later, maybe what we'll do is later we'll put some type of authentication on it. But this would be, in my mind, the least secure option. But some people, they just want some down and dirty website that they can collect feature requests and bug reports on. Okay, we'll do that for them. And by the way, I've looked at some of the competitors, and some of the competitors do the same thing. So that's why we're heading this direction. Okay. All right, it's back here. Still adding subdirectories for us. What we did was we pointed them to a blog article. It was really well written by this guy about a year ago. And he explained how to do this. It's out here on Medium. So I just basically copy pasted the whole thing. I just gave it the URL, but it wouldn't go to it. Medium is kind of funny. I think they notice bots and stuff, and to Medium, this looks like a bot, like when Claude Code comes to it. So I just copy pasted it all down to Claude Code, and that's, it's kind of the easy way to do it. Once again, we've been at this about, I think this is even though it's day 35, we're like on day 28 or something like that, really. And we have about 35 hours in this project so far. And I'm telling you, we have about 3 to 4 months worth of work done. Like if I was just developing this on my own. And that's because AI is doing the work for us. So again, 3 to 4 months on one hand, or 35 hours. And by the way, half of that 35 hours is me explaining and talking and such, but it would probably take you that long as well. So that's still a pretty good trade-off, guys. So like if you're working something, part-time, you're putting in, 10 hours a week on it, that's 3 to 4 weeks worth of work. And we have 3 to 4 months worth of effort out of it. That's a pretty good trade-off, guys. That's what AI is doing. It's our new superpower. It's getting better every day, right? So every day they come out with newer models, and we have to tell it less. It's smarter. It makes less mistakes. It's cheaper. And, just in the next year, I think most of these models, the prices are going to just drop in half or even a fraction of that. And we've seen that already starting to happen. What that's going to mean is more and more people are going to jump into this game, and you guys are going to have a head start. There's going to be a huge need for people like me, that can be you, that are out there helping people do this securely. A lot of businesses need these applications. They have no idea how to do it securely. And so that's what we teach here. All right. So hang out with me, and enough of it to rub off on you that you can be out there selling these projects as well. Okay. Getting down to the end of the checklist here, and we're going to see how it did. Okay. It's running its TypeScript check right now, which is the last step. Let's see what our web page looks like. If it's still broke, yeah, it still looks like it's going to have some issues. That's okay. We'll just feed these errors back to it. Let me refresh. Nope. It's probably going to find those errors when it runs that. Yeah, here it is. It found them. That's why we always tell it to run a TypeScript check at the end. Now that won't find all errors in your app, but it'll find all of the TypeScript errors, which are the majority of them. So and that saves you a ton of time down the road. So I encourage you to always run a TypeScript check at the end of every major change. Once again, guys, if you're new here or if you just dropped in, say hello, drop me a chat. Let me know you're out there and where you're from. Okay, there it is. All right, it's back up. Go into the dashboard now. We'll go over to feedback. What we'll do is we see we have a pending comment in here. That's where that one is coming from. We'll go ahead and go in here while we're at it, and we will see where it implemented this. Subdomain settings, my first project. See, it pulled that down, and it looks like it's available. So it's going to ask if you want to claim it. See what it says right here, .uservibes.os AI. Now I'm on the local host. I wanted to work on the local host. Let's see what happens. Okay. Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, we don't have npx convex dev running. Hey, I see that from India. Thanks for dropping in and saying hello. All right. We have to open up another terminal shell here, and we have to run our convex. I forgot to do that earlier. npx convex dev. And that basically just keeps our database synced up. Now, while that did that, let me go ahead and try this claim again. Okay, it claimed it. It wrote that into the database is what it did. Okay, but see, I don't like this. It's saying, it's putting this uservibes OS AI on here, and we're local right now. So let's see what this error was. Was that the previous error? Yeah. Okay, I'll go ahead and clear that. I'm going to tell it to fix this because that's not going to work. Okay, on the local host. Okay, whoop, I didn't want to do that. Click here, go back into my Claude Code. Okay, it looks like you did a good job of implementing that. However, on my local dev site or dev server, I'm still on localhost, and the URL that you claimed was my actual production one, even when I'm on the development server. So I want you to be able to distinguish between the two. If I'm on my development server, I want you to give me a URL that works off of my localhost. And then, of course, if it is in production, then go ahead and do what you were doing. Okay, so all you have to do is recognize an issue, and then you have to just tell it what to do. Now, I remind you that the topics that I'm bringing up here are difficult topics. You will not be probably building an app that does this. See, I'm building an app to help other developers. You probably won't be doing that. You're probably going to be developing a healthcare app or some kind of financial app to help people, save money or count calories or whatever niche you happen to be in. You're not going to be, for example, needing to set up like subdomains on that, or you're not going to be, needing to do all this JWT tokens, all of this configuration like I've been doing. Again, I purposefully picked a hard one because I want it to last a while. Those other projects, you can get them done like in just a few days. Okay. I wanted this to last for a while, and I wanted to be able to show you that like the sky's the limit. You can make the most complicated app. This is not the most complicated app, but it's probably more complicated than what you guys will be doing. So, I hope that is an encouragement to you. Okay, there it is. Look at that. It automatically changed it. Okay. I guess it's because when you use localhost, you can't use a subdomain on it. But this is the equivalent of a subdomain whenever it comes after it like this. So let's see what that looks like. Let's open up a new tab. There. Look at that. It worked. It worked. You see how good Claude Code is, guys? It's amazing to me how good it is. On the first attempt, with one little tweak of telling it to, hey, you gave me a real URL. That was a minor issue. Like that would have taken like a week probably for me to figure out and do myself, like at least a few days. And because I've never done that before, so I have to go look it up, I have to research it, I have to do, but no, it did it like that in 5-10 minutes. That's amazing to me. I can't sing the praises of Claude Code enough. Look, if you're using another model out there, you don't know what you're missing. Like I promise you, we done that with another lesser capable model. I'm using the latest and greatest Opus 4.5, and that's what you get. You get your time back, right? So you get like a 10x on your time. Now, if you don't want, if you can't afford that, well, then you're going to pay for it with your time, and you're going to get like a 1x or 2x on your time, and it's going to take you weeks to do your app. So I ask, how much is your time worth? How much is your free time worth? Right? So I'd much rather pay, $20 a month, $50 a month to get this kind of capability in my hands all day long. I'll spend that all day long in order to, be 10x more productive. Okay, so I highly encourage you guys to take a look at Claude Code and specifically Opus 4.5. It is the best. And what we're going to do is we're going to push this up to production, and we're going to see it work up there with the subdomains, with the actual subdomains. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll come into the source code here, and I'll just tell it, okay, write a strong commit for this and push it to origin. Okay, now we're on the main branch right now. I'll remind you that we have main tied to our production up in the cloud in Vercel. Okay, now in the future, when this gets more complicated and we start adding more features, I'll probably have some preview domains. And what I like to do is have at least 3 environments. I like to have my local development environment called dev. Then I have a testing environment called test. And then I have a production environment, right? Which is, prod, but ultimately these are branches within GitHub. Okay. So particularly the last 2, the test and the main branches are the test and the prod domains or environments. But right now we just have 2 environments. We have my local dev environment, and then we have a production, which is on main. So I'm just keeping it simple. We will we'll get to more of that in the future. Okay, it looks like it's messing up its commit statement. Sometimes it does that, but it's smart enough to figure it out. Okay. So again, if you don't know how to use Git, just ask Claude Code to do it for you, and then ultimately to teach you how to do it. So right here, what it's doing is it's writing a really strong commit statement for this work that we did tonight. Okay, so that's better than I would have written. And then it says, do you want to proceed? I say yes. Okay, so now it's committed that, and now what it's going to do is push it up to the cloud. Okay. It looked like it updated the convex file as well, or the instructions that we have. That's interesting. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and push that up to main. Okay. See what this convex update was. Okay, so you can always when you're on the GitHub panel, you can always click on one of the files here, and it will show you over here to the right what the difference is. We call it the diff. So on the left, you'll see in red what was deleted, and on green what it added. So all it did was it just tweaked this sentence. It frankly turned a colon into a period. That's kind of silly. Okay, so tweak convex rules file. Okay. I hit that button twice. The first time commits it locally, and the second time pushes it up to the cloud. All right, so now if we go over to our Vercel, okay, and what I'm going to do is pull that up here, and then I'll bring it down because I have a lot of stuff going on in Vercel. Okay. Here's the deployments page. All right. Oh, looks like we have an error here. All right, let's see what the error was. Okay, didn't like that. All right, let's go ahead and copy that down and give it to Claude Code. Oh, that reminds me. We need to update on what happened with the critical vulnerability right before I left and what happened afterwards. Okay, before I left, we had a critical vulnerability, 2 of them, and they had to do with React and Next.js. And so we fixed those like in 5 minutes with Claude Code. But while I was gone, some security researchers found some more issues. They aren't critical, they're high and medium. Okay, so they're not as urgent, but we're going to go ahead and fix them tonight as well. Okay, so let's see what it's trying to do here. Okay, it's trying to, it's just making a change to the Git config. And while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead in here and fix that. So inside of the package.json, okay, so we have this file right here, the 15.7, that needs to go up to 15.9, okay? And on React, this here, I believe needs to go to, well, let's find out. Okay, there was the original one. Here's the update 3 days ago. So here we go. We need to go to 15.07 because we're on the 15.0 branch. or version, major version, I guess you would call it. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go to 15.07. Okay, oh, excuse me. We were on the 15.5 branch. So we went to 15.5.9. Okay, so that's correct. But what I'm also looking for is what version we need to do for React. So give me a second here. I think it's here. Okay. And we are on 19.01, and that still has a vulnerability up through 0.1. So what we're going to do is go to 0.2. And what I'm looking for is some kind of link on that. React Dev right here. Okay, if you update it to here, these are incomplete and you'll need to update again. Okay, and we again are on 19.01. Okay, so what it's saying we need to do is these vulnerable versions. See, 19.01 is still vulnerable. Okay, so what we need to do right here, 19.03. This is called a minor version update, and it's typically not going to break anything, but it could. But it's simple enough to change it back if it does. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and I just went ahead and stopped that push, and we're going to go ahead and update that as well. So I'm going to just say updated packages to fix more vulns. We got to keep up with these things if we're secure developers. We have to understand that security vulnerabilities come out and we have to be on top of them. Otherwise, we will get hacked and our users will get hacked, and that'll be no good because we have to give that money back. Hey, Adelsa, I see you asked, how'd you find them? What were you talking about? The vulnerabilities? Oh, if that's what you're asking about, I received an email from Vercel, from the CEO, or at least the CTO from Vercel. That's another advantage of messing with or using Vercel. Those guys wrote Next.js. So when there's an issue that comes out with it, they will be the first to tell you about it. And so I don't know how the other people are finding out about it, but I got an email from Vercel myself while I was out a couple of days ago. It said, hey, we found some more issues, or really some security people found some more issues. And so you need to be aware of them. We suggest that you go ahead and update. Now, as always, another benefit of being with Vercel is that they will often put a firewall up in front of you to keep people from messing with you, but it's not foolproof. So they still want you to go ahead and, implement. And that's what we did. Okay, let's see what we got now. We'll go back up here to our Vercel page, and we click back up here, and then we can see the latest build right here. The last 3 of them failed because of that error. Now, hopefully we don't have any more errors, but let's see. I'm going to click in there and just watch this thing build. Okay, so far so good. Okay, it does all this stuff underneath the hood for you. You usually don't have to worry about it. All you're looking for is a green light. Okay, yeah, this is looking good. Okay, I think it's already past where it was having issues before. Okay, good. It's just about done. Takes a couple minutes to build in the cloud. It's amazing. Like back in the day before we had this kind of stuff, this would take like a whole afternoon to try to get this thing working up in the cloud. Okay, so here we are, 2 minutes. It's working. Okay, so now what we can do is we can go back to our page here. And what we can do is refresh. And we should see now a new setting for subdomain. See that? Okay, now what it's using is the slug that we gave it. This is called a slug right here. It basically means, there can't be any spaces. So we gave it a project name, and it makes it lowercase and puts hyphens in it. That's called a slug, okay? Now, so again, it's checking if that's available. If it wasn't, like when I claim this, then it's going to put a number on it and ask you if you want that. But I'm going to say, yeah, I'll take that. Okay, bam. Notice that it says successful up here with our toast message. That's called a toast message. And here's our new URL that we can point people to. So let's go ahead and check that. In fact, I'm just going to click here out of convenience. It gave us a button to just launch a new page. Oh, it didn't. Okay, hold on a second. That didn't work. Okay. My first project. Just seeing if that takes a second. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is tell Claude, hey, that didn't work. Okay. I'm gonna give it a screenshot of it not working. And then what I'm also gonna do is give it a screenshot of the configuration page. There shouldn't be any save button or anything down here. It should be working. Okay, just checking. So glad you guys can hang out with me tonight. We won't be much longer. I won't keep you much longer. We'll get to a breaking point here. We'll either figure this out or we'll come back to it tomorrow. I try to go about an hour a night. First of all, for my own pace, but also for yours. Sometimes we go a little bit longer, like if it's really interesting. Okay. Okay, it didn't tell us this. We do need to put a DNS wildcard entry in. This is an infrastructure step that needs to be done in Vercel and your DNS provider. UI showing production URL. Okay, the second screenshot shows the production URL format, which means you're viewing this in your deployed site, not localhost. That's right. The dev mode detection is working. Okay, just detects your own production. To enable subdomains in production, you need to, inside of Vercel dashboard, inside your project settings, domains, you need to add this as a wildcard domain. Vercel will give you DNS records to configure. Okay. All right, let's try that. Didn't know that. Sounds a bit fishy to me, but let's, I know how to do domains. It's just I didn't think I would have to do that. Where am I at? Here. What it's saying is go to the settings page and then go down to domains. Yeah, okay. There's no wildcard here. Maybe that's the problem. All right, so I'm going to put a wildcard dot user vibes os dot AI, and I'm gonna hit save. Okay, it's good because now it says invalid configuration, but if I do this, it'll give me my records I have to put in. Okay, update your domains name servers to enable Vercel. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's telling me that I'm gonna have to let Vercel be the domain administrator. Okay. I guess there's no harm in it, but I wasn't expecting to have to do that. I think I'm gonna end up breaking this website and having to unscrew it later. But okay, hold on a second. Okay, Vercel is asking me to switch the name servers to Vercel, and I don't want to do that. Is there another way that I can keep my DNS provider with my registrar? Okay, it's compacting the conversation. It's interesting because also the last couple of days, Claude Code came out with a new feature that's supposed to auto compact and do it almost immediately. It basically just compacts as you go. But it doesn't seem like that's working. Maybe they rolled that back or something. If anybody knows anything about that, drop me a note. Okay. It's back. It's continuing its thinking. Okay. Yes, you can keep your DNS provider and still use wildcard domains with Vercel. Here's how. Add these DNS records. CNAME, star, CNAME. This creates a wildcard CNAME that points to that without changing your name server. Okay. On Vercel side, go to Vercel project settings domains, add that. I've already done that. We'll verify ownership via the CNAME. Okay, good. If you already have an A record for the root domain, which I do, keep that separate. The wildcard only covers domains. Okay, good. Make sure your registrar supports wildcard CNAME records. Most do. Okay, all right, let's try that. All right, that sounds pretty good. All right, let me put my DNS page and get logged into that, and then see if that'll work. Okay, there it is. I'll bring it down here for you guys to see. I got like 50 domains, so I can't be letting you see all that. Okay. All right, so here's the stuff that we set up before. So what we need to do is, it's telling us we put a CNAME record in. We need to do star. And we need to do this CNAME Vercel trick over here. We need to do this. Put that as the answer. So we put a star dot, and then we put this, pointing it basically to Vercel. And then we add that record. Fingers crossed. Okay, it looks like it put it in. Okay, cool. So now, let's try it. Man, that'd be sweet if that's all it took. Let me find the right page again. Okay. Refresh that. Okay, I put that in. Okay. It may take a little bit of time for that record to work, but in the meantime, let's try the website. Okay, and once again, bam. Oh, it's tried. It tried. It looked like it looked it up, but it failed. Okay. See how it's going twice? Okay, I didn't like that. Yeah, I really don't want to switch my domain server or my domain DNS server. So what's going on here is when you register your domain, you do that through what's called a registrar. And I prefer to keep my DNS records with my registrar because I want all my DNS records in one spot. I don't want them like spread all over because it becomes a mess. And it looks like, to do the subdomains, Vercel prefers if they if they hold all the DNS records, and I'm not cool with that. I mean, we could do it, but like it would be out of the norm for me. I have, like I said, I have about 50 domains, so I want to keep them all in one spot. So either that's going to have to work its way through DNS, or we're going to have to figure out another way. Okay, hold on one second. I just want to play with this just for a moment. Refresh. Make sure I spelled everything right. uservibesOS.ai. Edit that. Maybe I need to do something in here. Connect to an environment and relay. Save. Oh, hold on a second. Was there more instructions down here? If you already have an A record. Okay, I put that in. Go to your Vercel project settings. We already had that in. Maybe I gotta delete it and re-add it. Okay, it's telling us that we should be able to use the dig command. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's resolving. Maybe it just started working. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm giving this record to Claude Code, but I still don't see it validated in the Vercel console and the URL doesn't work. And what I'm going to do is give it the screenshot of this. What this dig command does, dig is just a DNS tool that you can use on Mac or Linux. I don't think it works on Windows. It might. It's been a while since I messed with Windows with this kind of stuff. Hold on a second. Look here. Now it's saying Vercel requires name server delegation specifically for wildcard domains. They don't support wildcard verification via CNAME alone. Your DNS is configured correctly. The dig proves it, but Vercel won't validate wildcards without owning the name servers. Okay, so we have a couple options. We can use Cloudflare, keep your registrar, but Cloudflare's free DNS, add user vibes OS Cloudflare, change name servers, add your registrar to Cloudflare's, not Vercel. It's pretty complicated. Individual subdomains. Instead of a wildcard, each subdomain individually. Nope. I don't want to be doing that. That's adding a different DNS record for each subdomain. That's too much work. It's saying this part already works. Let's test it. It does. So see, it's trying to do the subdomain. The way subdomains work is it's either over here at the beginning, dot the domain, or you can say slash and the URL. Now, this S right here is just the artificial thing, the way Next.js set up the routes. Typically, you wouldn't have to put that S in there, but that's just the way they set it up for me. So it's kind of halfway working, but I want the subdomain to work. And it looks like the only way we're going to be able to do that is actually on name server itself. So let's just try something here. Now, what I'd hate about that is I don't want to break all those other DNS records. Okay, but what about the other DNS records I already have set up to point to Vercel? If I make this name server change, will Vercel automatically handle all of that? Because you see, I have these other domains already set up that we set up already. A lot of these have to do with clerk and stuff. One thing I can do is export that. Let's see. It asked if I wanted it to help me figure out what domains it needed switched, and I said yes. So that's what it's doing right now. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to sleep on this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And we'll come back tomorrow. I'll probably just go ahead and switch them over and we'll just make it work. It's not my preferred thing to do, but I do want to get this up and working and I want to show you guys how to do it. So, the fact that I have 50 other domains and don't really want to do it is more of my problem. But I think I'll figure it out and get over it and come back tomorrow and just do it. But I've kept you guys long enough and trying to keep to my word to keep this to an hour. I so appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. And I'm learning new things. You guys are learning new things. Again, this kind of stuff that we're talking about here, you'll probably never run into when you build your app. But I want you to see that, we can overcome anything and we can do even more complicated apps. And hopefully that's encouraging to you and get you into a position where you have confidence stepping out into this world of secure vibe coding. So once again, thanks for joining me. I'll come back tomorrow and we will go at it again. And appreciate each and every one of you. And I love you. And stay safe out there. Until next time, be blessed by the best. Good night.